let's continue our lesson with the elasticity of supply. There is a quote that elasticity measures the heartbeat of demand, how alive it is to every price pulse. Let's begin. Price elasticity of supply. What is this? Price elasticity of supply measures how much quantity supplied responds to a change in price. Loosely speaking, it measures sellers' price sensitivity. Price elasticity of supply is all about sellers. There is a formula of price elasticity of supply. It equals to percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price. Calculating the percentage change, we again use the midpoint method. Next. Well, let's understand the graphs. It means the graphs of elasticity of supply. The first one is perfectly inelastic supply. As you can see, on the y-axis there is a price, and on the x-axis there is a quantity. We take an example of tickets. There is a supply curve. Supply curve is vertical, and price rises by 10%, price of tickets, and quantity supplied of tickets changes by 0%. It means that seller's price sensitivity is none. As a result, elasticity is equal to 0. There is a formula. The next one is inelastic supply. In elastic supply, we can take an electricity as an example. As you can see here, price rises by 10% and quantity supplied rises less than 10%. It means that supply curve is relatively steep. There is a supply curve, and the seller's price sensitivity is relatively low. As a result, elasticity of electricity is smaller than 1, and it is inelastic supply. The third one is unit elastic supply. We can take a t-shirt production as an example. As you can see here, price rises by 10% from P1 to P2, and quantity supplied rises by 10%. 10% and also 10%, they are equal. And supply curve has an intermediate slope, and seller's price sensitivity is intermediate. As a result, elasticity of t-shirt production is equal to 1. The next one is elastic supply. We can take the accessories of smartphones as an example. Price of accessories rises by 10%, and quantity supplied rises more than 10%. As a result, supply curve is relatively flat, you can see here, and seller's price sensitivity is relatively high. As a result, elasticity of accessories of smartphones is higher than 1. It means that smartphone accessories has an elastic supply. The last one is perfectly elastic supply. We can take wheat, like a farm production as an example. Price changes by 0% and quantity supplied changes by any percent. It means that supply curve is horizontal and the seller's price sensitivity The result, elasticity equals to infinity. In short, there are 5 classifications of elasticity of supply. First one is perfectly inelastic supply. In that case, elasticity equals to 0 and quantity fixed. Secondly, inelastic supply. In that case, elasticity is smaller than 1 and quantity supply changes a little. The third is unit elastic supply. Elasticity is equals to 1 and there are equal percentage changes. Fourth one, elastic supply. Elasticity is higher than 1 and quantity supplied changes a lot. The fifth one is perfectly elastic supply. Elasticity equals to infinity and there are infinite responses. Well, there are also variety of supply curves. The slope of the supply curve is closely related to price elasticity of supply. There is a rule of thumb. The flatter the curve, the bigger the elasticity. It means that producers can easily respond to price changes. The next rule, the steeper the curve, the smaller the elasticity. It means that it is difficult for producers to adjust quickly. Well, in the elasticity of supply, time is the key factor. Firstly, we can take into account a short run. Supply often inelastic because in the short run, firms cannot easily change their production capacity. When it comes to the long run, supply becomes more elastic because firms can build new factories or hire more workers, making supply more elastic. Real example is here. Car manufacturers cannot increase production overnight because they need months to adjust it.